It's really what it is. Come in. Yeah. New Nipsey Hustle.
Check.
What up?
Elbows and jumpers. This is Elbows and Jumpers.
That's right.
Episode 7.
There you go. Dennis with a nice assist. We got our usual starting lineup with DJ Skrechy Scratch.
What up?
He's on the boards doing all the work. We got the host, regular as Dennis.
What up?
And we got me, regular as Rudy, as the co-host. So now I'll pass it on to Dennis and what we going to talk about this episode.
So we're now on a 4-game winning streak. We're currently 8-9, and things are kind of looking up for the team, right? And I figured coming from our previous episode where we had a post-Harden kind of letting out of emotions and feelings. We won against the Pistons before that podcast, and then we continued to go on to beat the Mavericks, the Wizards, facing John Wall's former team, and then having a nice close win against the Blazers. So
True.
I think looking back as far as where we started the season to where we're at now, and seeing where we're at with some of the players that we probably weren't mentioning before, we're definitely going to speak on them today. Game by game, we saw different people step up. We saw injuries to Wood that had other people had to step up in his place. So we got to see some adversity. We saw Oladipo get on the floor with everybody, and we're still trying to work him into the system. And I think that's given opportunities to some of the younger guys. We found out one of our rookies won't be playing as many games as we previously hoped, but it's kind
Mason Jones.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So we got some interesting topics to discuss, and I think kind of level set where we're at as a team and some of the questions that may exist around where do we see our franchise in Houston sports in comparison to, let's say, the Texans and the Astros, even the Dynamo, in terms of what kind of franchise are we looking at? Or is this a Texans kind of scenario where you're kind of throwing your hands up in the air saying, what am I even doing with my Sundays? Or
I don't know. You got to share your sentiment.
Absolutely, we'll touch on that towards the end of the show. But let's start off with this game against the Pistons just to kind of recap. I think one of the things that some people might think is that on a 4-game win streak, were they quality wins? I mean, was the other team injured? What was
one statement I would like to make? That's a good question, but always fair and always equal this season because the abnormal, like everything being abnormal. There's people missing from left to right on every team. So whoever shows up is whoever shows up. Just
a level set for the Pistons, for example, the only person really missing was Jahlil Okafor. Again, we did have we didn't have Chris Wood for that game either. So everybody is kind of playing with some injuries, maybe with some players out due to COVID. But there's no reason why we can say that some of these wins weren't quality wins. But
no.
One thing's for sure that this regular season record, as we're looking at it, doesn't really hold as much weight until we get to what's really seeming like it might become another bubble situation. I don't know if we're going to be playing playoffs in our hometowns. I can't tell.
What I'm excited is for that play-in 8 seed. So, there's going to be a few teams competing for that. We might be one of them, who knows? Or we might be a little ahead of that 8 seed. But
you think you're backing off your number upwards of 5 seed standing?
No, I think we can. I said 6, I believe. 5 was when we had, that was from the beginning of the season, and things have clearly changed since then.
Okay.
But I feel like a reasonable high seeding or our highest peak would probably be number 6. And that's just assuming that we have our normal starting lineup. We barely played with our whole starting lineup this last game for the first time.
Right.
And it looked, we still got to tighten things up, but if we can build that chemistry with our starting lineup and then our bench, comes in and they do what they do, then it looks pretty promising because the effort and heart is definitely there.
Well, beating teams like the Mavericks and the Blazers, who are direct competitors for that 4th through 8th seed in the West, is definitely a good look. Like I said, we're 8-9, and we're only below the Warriors, which everybody expects to make the playoffs as well, right? So
yeah, Steph's been coming through for them. Is it going to be enough? Who knows? But he's definitely building that chemistry, and he's been having these 40-point lights out games and making people better. I think the real question with the Warriors would be who's that? Who's number 22 on the Warriors? The one that was a first round pick.
Oubre?
Oubre.
No, not Oubre. Well, Oubre.
No.
What's his name?
Center. Yeah.
No, I'm trying to think. Number 22. God, I gotta research this. But anyways, so if they get their role players, playing up to what they need to be doing, like you said, Jonathan, well, Skrechy Scratch mentioned Oubre, then they'll be doing okay. Wiggins, that's it. Yes, Wiggins.
So
apologies for that.
He's reached his peak though.
Yeah, I don't know if we're gonna see much out of Wiggins.
He needs more confidence, man. He's like he can be like a Chris Middleton type of player, because he doesn't have all the swag, like Kobe had, in that type of game, Iverson, but he's a mid-tier type of player, and hopefully he picks it up with Steph Curry. I'm interested to see what he's gonna look like at the end of the season.
Yeah,
I think we can look at our team and see a little bit more upside in the players that we've got. Let's touch on some of them while we're here, because one thing I noticed myself is that we know what we've got in a Chris Wood right now, which feels like a guaranteed 20 and 10 player, which is at the center position is great to have. Mm-hmm. John Wall is definitely right there as a 20 and 10 points and assists. And then we've got Oladipo, who can easily be that 25 and 5, and that's kind of what he got that last game.
Man, I was so close on giving up on Oladipo, like this close, man, because I tweeted it out because I waited patiently. Like I was like, if he doesn't show up right now, and he truthfully told he caused that 20-point deficit.
We got to temper our expectations for this team.
No, the thing is that, and I like that we're playing on TNT because Charles Barkley and all the Ray Crew, Ernie and Shaq. I think it was Charles who asked him how is his knee doing. I mean, his leg is
he was
quad.
Nervous at that.
And he said that he's at 90% right now. So if a player tells you that he's at 90%, he's really at 70. So you can tell he's a little tender on it.
He's got to get his timing. I mean,
he doesn't. It's because he's still rehabbing from it.
Our whole team. This is a story of the whole team. These are reconstructed parts from all these different teams that are trying to get a showcase together, and they know they've got to work together. And I think that shows on the defensive side. I think it shows that. I think what are we now, number 2 in the league and as a defensive rating? And
we're top defensive team, and it's all due to effort. It's all playing on. Like the Lyre said, one band, one sound.
But to continue the trend of talking about players that we can kind of look past. Chris Wood, we know what we have. John Wall, we know what we have. Mm-hmm. Oladipo, as shaky as a start that he has, I think that he wants to exceed expectations.
Oh yeah, because he's definitely putting up the numbers that you're starting
clean.
to. They're not clean.
They're
but
dirty.
Yeah, they're dirty.
But
he showed up this last game. That's why I on my tweet. I was like, I hope by the end of the game that he proves me wrong.
And defensive intensity-wise, that's something that he definitely has. He went for that ball that was going out on the baseline, and I think that he's another player that plays with that chip on his shoulder. We got this like bad news bears.
Every player,
and I think one of the things that will help temper some of the expectations. This is my personal opinion that I was asking, like, are we in tank mode? Are we trying to get a lot? And
you are definitely in tank mode.
But now I understand that I had to level set my expectations that we can't afford or even realistically think about having a tank in terms of losing games, but we can definitely say we went all in on the financial tank, getting our balance sheet cleaned up to get these players that have a whole lot of upside on limited contracts.
All financial numbers don't mean shit, bro. We got a solid team. We got value.
Well,
shout out to Stone, the GM,
but
he found talent.
We're playing with house money at this point, though.
What do you mean by house money?
Because we have. With Harden leaving, we have the luxury of saying, let's go out and really clean this team up to be able to go after new franchise players next year, the year after, setting up our balance sheet so that way we can be more flexible. I don't see this full team as it is today next year. What we're seeing right now is a team that's financially creating the assets that it needs to create a successful franchise going forward.
Definitely, I see that, but the talent and effort is there. Yeah. So, if you have both aspects of it, you have a promising playoff team.
Which is what
you have that. So this feels like, and I'm sorry to interrupt, but Skrechy Scratch, he brought up a good point. We're like the Cinderella NCAA team coming into the Sweet 16. So it's very promising.
That leads into what I was thinking, that this is a team worth watching because you want to see each player do well. You want to see Boogie Cousins come back and really prove that he can play in the NBA, not get kicked out of games.
You root for them
for breathing.
You root for them, and it's like you're on edge the whole fucking game. It's fun. It's fun as hell. Yeah, it's fun. Definitely different from the past years, and
I mean, the Danwell House storyline from
it's lit.
From player,
It's
from
lit.
player to
You know,
rapper
I should
to
download that song.
There, we need to play that song, but yeah.
definitely. I mean, there's
He showed that he can be a true professional. He can do the rap thing and start scoring on his first game.
and there's something, by the way, to be said about Eric Gordon. There is that
Woo.
6th man of the year. I know that he can be. His game has changed and metamorphosized every time you think you know what he is. It feels like every year he starts doing something.
You know what
different.
he is. You know what he is, and he definitely is not a point guard. So
No.
if Coach Silas can move him to the true 2, I know we have Mason Jones in there. We can only pay him like 50 of the 72 games, but Eric Gordon, he's not a point guard. If you put him on there,
he's a shooting guard. He's a pure all-out shooting guard.
Pure.
He's going to go out there and score his points. It's like Jamal Crawford or something.
So
you put him out there, he's got a job to do.
So, do you feel like we should keep Eric Gordon or trade him?
I think we're leveraging our assets. I think a player that consensus everybody feels like just from the osmosis of information was that Ben McLemore is probably being showcased so that we can move him to a team that's going to be able to utilize his talent.
I think Eric Gordon is the bigger piece because he has that $16 million contract around.
I mean, I believe that if there's a deal to be made for a financial tank's health, I think it'll be made. I don't know if there's
no financial. I hate that you take on that sentiment because it's not a tank. Obviously, we won 4 games with not even our full starting lineup, and we have the assets. Like, yes, I appreciate your perspective. We're leveraged in a really positive way. So we can make trades. We can, next year we can sign a big.
But see, we're not talking about a championship.
Yes, we are. We can get there.
I
just mentioned the Cinderella team right now.
It could happen.
What we need.
That's what I wanted to hear. That's what I wanted.
What
to
we
hear.
need is a backup center, and then we need a sharp shooter. So that's why I bring up the point. Do we trade Eric Gordon? If he stays, fine. But we definitely need to bring. We haven't even mentioned Kevin Porter Jr.
Exactly.
So that might be our wild
our
card. He can be the running up the point, and he's a little mini.
That's a lot of growth in a very short amount of time.
He has the talent. Yeah, have you even seen
hell of a Cinderella?
Have you seen
story.
any?
I love the optimism.
I mean, it's true. We won
We're
4
looking
games.
good.
Yeah,
You're talking about winning a championship.
we see it
So
there.
this is Dennis in the beginning of the season. Okay, we're gonna win with James Harden. I mean, we win more games with James Harden than without.
Here we go, going backwards.
And then he got proven wrong. And then we trade away James Harden.
The situation changed.
And yes, and
so
then
you readjust your expectations.
Yeah, but you got proven wrong.
I love how your expectations didn't change with the situation drastically changing. We do not have a top 5 player on our team currently.
We don't need one.
That's right. As long as you got that effort.
I like the optimism. I wanted to hear somebody say out loud that we have the potential of making a championship run with this current team. I like hearing that sentiment.
Yeah, because there's going to be a lot of effort there. So, I mean, if you're not a true fan, then what are you doing? That we have the talent.
You play to win the championship.
Yeah, you play to you need the effort. Defense wins championships through and through. We have the defense.
I think
but the only problem, and this is where I'll become honest with the team, is that we don't have that go-to sharp shooter. Oladipo's not that shooter.
We don't have a fourth quarter player.
That's exactly what I'm saying.
But everybody combines together.
In
that fourth quarter.
That
That's
green
what I like.
in the playoff rises to the top.
Yeah, so you need that.
You need that.
But what Dennis is saying, he's definitely factual on this. You need that Kobe Bryant type of player that's going to hit that
You need that
shot.
Steph Curry.
And
You need
it's
that
tough to
LeBron
find
James.
one.
Yeah. But the thing is, like, these players, they're not it. John Wall is not going to hit that shot.
I would love to see it.
That's
I would.
true.
Christian Wood is not going to hit that shot. Oladipo's not going to hit that
Maybe
shot.
John
One
Wall
thing
can
I'll
step
say-
up and like that
Man,
because
he would drive.
He's been hitting
but-
some clutch shots these
He
past few
has,
games.
but the thing
But
is,
look at let's go back to the teams we played. We played a Blazers team without McCollum. We played Luka Doncic with an obviously missing Steven Silas as his coach.
He is.
he is, yeah.
So
And
you're
Steven
looking
Silas
at
knows the system. He knows how to guard him. He knows how to.
the teams we're talking about right now when we're talking about these comparisons is really the Denver Nuggets, the Los Angeles Lakers, the Golden State Warriors, Donovan Mitchell for Utah Jazz. I want to see us play them too. I want to see us play these teams and see what we're going to do. And this is where the diamonds get made, right? Where Chris Wood, I think in the last game in the fourth quarter, he did go into takeover mode.
He's definitely developing every game. Like, remember when I pointed out he needs to develop his mid range?
Yeah, he
and
did.
what does he do?
He shot that mid range.
Yeah, he shot that mid range, danced a little, and popped it.
I think
he's working on
They're
it.
finding their timing. They're finding their rhythm with it. And we got to, again, let the season unfold and see what's going to happen. I think that the
So
growth.
what's your prediction for the Rockets at this point? I know it's difficult to make.
No, I would
you
be
know.
happy with a second round exit. I would say that would be a decent starting place for the rebuild.
So we would have did that with James Harden anyway. So
Yeah,
we're back at
that's
square
true.
one. There's no win or loss at that point. Is that true? Can you say yes or no?
I hate speaking on the past like that.
No, but the thing is, like, you're
it feels
right.
so bitter, ex-girlfriend.
No,
Like-
the thing is, we have to acknowledge it. So, we're with James Harden, we didn't exit the second round, and then I didn't want to bring it up, but with this team,
Oh,
we'll
you
probably
can't wait to bring up another man's name that don't got nothing to do with the Rockets.
We're actually gonna fight if we're gonna fight the second round.
Yeah,
We're gonna have some fight in us.
Exactly.
With that being said, let's go.
Yo.
Shout out D House. We see you. Elbows and Jumpers, episode 7. Let's go.
It's lit.
It's lit. It's lit. It's lit. It's lit. It's lit. It's lit. It's lit.
Check.
Yo,
Shout out Daniel House on It's Lit. Go check out the record.
yes,
Again,
sir.
this is Elbows and Jumpers, episode 7.
So to touch back on some of these wins that we just had, and we'll talk about some of the individual matchups because definitely going out of the Pistons game, we saw Oladipo come in there. The next up, we want to talk about what was it? The Mavericks game.
Yeah, we
So-
touched on that one, but now we're at the Wizards.
Yeah, so we got the Wizards, right? So
Yeah.
what did you see during the Wizards game that really stood out to you?
That's what stood out to me the most is the abnormal season again. It's like that. It feels like the bubble again.
Mhm.
Well, actually, it feels slightly worse than the bubble because at least in the bubble, everybody had their starting lineups at the, at any one point in time.
We really only missed Kenyon Martin.
No, I'm talking about the Wizards. They went on a few game quarantine.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, where they weren't, they didn't have to start. They were missing their forward, Rudy.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, and then another starter. But it seems like Westbrook and Beal aren't meshing well together. Would you agree?
I don't think Westbrook is having a good season. It's not a meshing together issue. Westbrook is unpredictable. And
We
saw it with our
definitely
own
won the
team.
trade. To confirm, we won the trade because we got John Wall and a first round
I
pick.
don't think we had a whole episode dedicated to boo-hoo, Westbrook is gone.
He was just
I
here
don't
for
think-
1 year. That's why.
I was here for
mean,
1
there's
year.
a reason why we didn't really touch on that too much because what we got in return, I think we definitely had upside there.
Isn't that insane what happens though? So Westbrook was MVP type of player, averaging triple doubles.
Save
now,
your knees.
now the same thing. So that great point that you brought up. Save the knees. So this is the thing. As you get older in the NBA, you can't rely on athleticism.
Look at Blake Griffin. I mean, bro,
not doing shit.
No mid range.
Mm-mm.
He was doing ballerina twirlies for 360s. It was terrible. He was like spinning on one foot without any lift.
And that's what's happening to Westbrook.
But you know what? They're relying on other skills. They're developing shots. But Russell Westbrook isn't doing that. When he pulls up for that 3-pointer from the top, I'm scared.
It's gonna kill the backboard.
There's an injury that's about to happen.
The only thing, I mean, Westbrook is talented because he has the heart. He's gonna die for the ball. He's gonna get the block. He's in the wrong system right now.
It reminds me of a lot of other players that lose that thing that got them to the point where that extra gear that they had.
Westbrook
He's
needs
lost
to go
that.
to like the Lakers or the
He needs to go to
Miami Heat. He needs to go to the Miami
He
Heat.
needs to go to Germany and get the stem cell therapy that Kobe Bryant got. R.I.P.
R.I.P. Oh yeah, we didn't mention Kobe, but the 1 year anniversary of his passing, and obviously he's a big piece of the NBA and
So
culture.
Absolutely. I mean, but so that Washington game was important because we wanted to see Wall beat his former team. That handily happened, and I think Washington obviously has many more problems than we saw earlier in the season. I think, and we're looking again as a team, we're looking great.
Yeah, Bradley Beal, I feel for him, but if you can stick it through, I feel like you can attract some talent there, whether it be by draft picks or free agents. I guess one free agent that's been standing out to me is not free agent. Is Zach LaVine going to be a free agent next year, or he signed a 4-year contract? No, but he's been standing out to me when we played the Bulls, and if if the Wizards can get somebody like him on the team, then it changes everything. You agree?
I think that corporate governance and team culture, whatever that means to certain people versus what it means to the fans, I think that means something. And I think the Wizards, by getting rid of John Wall, probably took a few steps back in trying to attract a free agent that's worth anything, that's not coming off an injury or a deal or some kind of bad situation. That's no determination of the team itself, the players themselves of the team, but that franchise has bigger issues than worrying about if they can sign a free agent.
That's the thing that I'm glad that you're acknowledging that about the Wizards, because the Rockets are not the Wizards.
Well, no, we definitely, and that's
So
why
there's
there's a
promise to it.
juxtaposition there, because we definitely every franchise has a capability of heading in that direction, and we thankfully or not, because I think we're definitely a free agent destination based on the type of leeway we give our players to develop and grow within a system that's going to help them increase their value, their marketability, and make sure that we're a place where we can say this is where winners will come.
Exactly.
So I think
we knew that from the beginning of the season. I'm glad you caught up.
Finally.
I mean, in a world where the Houston Texans are doing everything opposite of that sentiment, it's something that we have to expect and stay on top of, though. It's not one of those things where you can say
two different
it's
organizations,
and it'll continue to happen. I think
that's true.
but
two different organizations.
But again, the city's name is on these teams, and we're still at the whim of a single billionaire.
The Rockets have a black head coach and Coach Silas.
And it's still a billionaire at the top of there that can make whatever decision he wants to make.
Yes, but it means something. If you hire Silas, it means something. You can put. I don't know what the hell Tillman's views are. I'm not
talking about his views. I'm just talking about this in general, in the sports world in general. The days of where a city's team is owned by a single billionaire are going to be at a close very soon. I wouldn't say like 10 years, whatever, but there's no reason why the city's name should be attached for free marketing for stadiums that are built with taxpayer money to let them be the sole decision makers of our city's sports teams.
No,
it's a simple argument.
The thing is, that's why the media is important, because they, they're going to call you out. They're going to call owners out, just like McNair is getting a lot of.
And it's getting us nowhere.
You don't know that. It's
all
still
that
too soon.
Deshaun's still gone.
Oh yes, that's the thing. It's getting you somewhere, because now it shows that organizations aren't a monopoly. Like they're not a
They have to rescind that Casario contract, because one thing that was proven with this whole Tom Brady going to the Super Bowl situation is that dude was the one that basically got the entire Patriots organization paid for every GM job, for every offensive coordinator, head coaching job that whole coaching tree supposedly created. Tom Brady better be getting a motherfucking residual.
So is this the Texans?
Is this the Texans
segment now?
Yeah, because it seems like we can't even go back to the Rockets.
Let's go. We got some more of that later on with the Texans.
Absolutely, we'll continue.
A lot more, but
this is the politics of basketball, the politics of sports.
It definitely coincides with each other. And just to bring out the point, the Rockets and Texans are two different organizations.
Absolutely.
Dennis at the beginning of the season thought they were the same, but in fact they are not. Because the Rockets are actually investing in talent. The Texans, on the other hand, are not. They let go of talent easily. With Hopkins and other examples we can name out.
What's up next?
Like, fuck it. You want to do that, then
that's when you can say,
let's sell the team, bro.
But the next buyer though will not be another individual.
It'll be a group. That's what you want.
I want a corporate ownership structure with some responsibility a civic responsibility to the city in which they exist.
That's fair, but it's really. If you
it can't just be at the whim like, oh, I'm gonna give 50,000 to this church over here and 50,000 over here to this special organization. I say, let's make it all the way fair. I think we're in the last throes of this, but you talking about franchises like the Wizards that are obviously going in the wrong direction. They're in Washington City, where they share the name that Washington football team, that it also kind of gives them a stain on their name. You look at Knicks.
That's a lot of self-awareness for owners that I think the media is calling out now. It's not
they're oblivious.
It's not the status quo anymore. Like if you're not connected to your community and what they want, then you're not going to be a profitable team. So I think that's one of the main points to that topic.
Yeah, I think there needs to be a whole lot more give back. And when we related, for basketball, And the NBA as a whole is a far more progressive league than the NFL.
Definitely.
That's I guess maybe that's why that counter is just
our operations are working behind the scenes right now. But yes, I agree with you on that point, and hopefully we see something. I mean, there's going to be a lot of news breaking out of the Texans, because you can't cover dirt.
Well,
so
we'll continue with the Texans in a sec, but let's, we're talking about the Wizards and their organization. The other team that we played that kind of could find themselves in a similar predicament to us are the Trailblazers.
Yeah, that was a good game to watch. We were down by 20 in the first quarter,
and came back and got up to a 12-point lead at one point.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, it was a whiplash of a game, and it kind of showed that we did have some resiliency. Again, the Blazers not having CJ McCollum,
and they also didn't have their other center. What's
Zach Collins?
Nurkic.
Yeah, Nurkic.
So he's Nurkic. There you go. So, anyways, he didn't start. He had a broken wrist or something.
Yeah.
But,
so
they were. I mean, that's what I'm saying. Everything is equal. Everything's
but
equal.
every game, nobody's going to have their full players.
Yeah, so everything's equal.
Hey, man,
we won a game we're supposed to win.
Well, talking about from a franchise standpoint. The Trailblazers, I always feel like they have a similar franchise to us in terms of media market or even the viewership from the national media, right? So do you think that's a franchise that can turn that corner like we're expecting of the Rockets, or do you feel like
they need that big wingman? So
it feels like they've got
thing is like from the I hold myself true to my statement. So the Trailblazers, I believe they're gonna make it, somewhere in the top like 5 or 6. But right now that they're hurt, so it's difficult, And then the thing is, McCollum and Lillard are a little too small, even though they can shoot the lights out. It's hard to guard a KD type of player.
And if you look at our guard lineup, all around 6'4". We're in a very similar circumstance.
Yeah, they have muscle in them.
Yeah, we have muscle, but I like that we have I'm exaggerating, but 10 6'4" to 6'6" players. So we have a lot of leverage. We need to do something, and we definitely need to get a backup center. One of the centers that I've been looking into is the Chicago Bulls. Daniel Gafford?
Mm-hmm.
He's actually I believe a first round pick, but he's on the 3rd string right now. He barely gets any minutes. If we can, come up with some type of trade for him, then we'll be, I think we'll be solid. Assuming that Oladipo does what he needs to do.
Mm-hmm.
Again, our front court is kind of short. They're all 6'4" to 6'6". Wall, Oladipo, Tucker. We're gonna talk about Tucker more in depth. But when you're guarding, a LeBron James,
when we get up against the big boys, when we go up against Jokic with Denver, that's what we're really.
And that's the thing. That's why we need a backup center, because when we play against those big boys, it's going to be Wood and Cousins starting, or it should be, and you're going to need somebody, another big man, 6'10" to 7 footer to step up from the bench.
And I think by February 9th, we still got to figure out a way to get Gerald Green to fit on the team.
We're falling in love with every player on the team, so it's going to be kind of hard to trade.
We got the D League there for a reason.
The thing is, look, I think Gerald Green, hopefully we can make a roster spot for him, come through, because you deserve to be in the playoffs with us. And I be on the lookout for Kevin Porter Jr. He has a lot of talent. Hopefully, he's young. What is he, 20 years old?
Yeah, I'm curious. He's exactly 20.
So he needs that structure. Like he was fucking up in Cleveland, but you expect that from a 20-year-old.
We have a bad news bears of teams that they all got a story. Might as well fit them into and see what can happen.
Come on,
this is come on over, man. Let's go ahead and make it work.
There you go, Skrechy. Let's go.
Elbows and Jumpers, episode 7. Let's go.
30,000 the first one. Boss hog out loud.
Elbows and Jumpers,
Welcome back.
episode 7. So,
Scratch.
yes, sir. Appreciate your Scratch on the boards. So we have the New Orleans Pelicans coming up tonight. Dennis, what you feel about that game?
That team's another team that's still trying to get it together. It feels like it's an organization coming off the other organizations that we talked about that are still trying to get it together. They got Zion, obviously, but they definitely don't have as cohesive as a team as we have at this point. And they're currently 7-10. We're 8-9, so they're not too far off from us. But they're second to bottom in the league, and they're definitely looking to probably try to get a win and turn some things around for themselves. So you got Brandon Ingram there, Zion Williamson, JJ Redick, Eric Bledsoe, but
you got Lonzo on there too.
Steven Adams. That's a tough team. You're talking
there's
about
talent there. The problem is they're young. So this is the difference between like that I want you to accept at some point is that the Rockets are a little more mature, because you need a veteran type of leadership, and we have that in John Wall, Cousins, PJ Tucker,
and
a lot
Eric
of people,
Gordon.
Eric Gordon. Yeah, a lot of people shit on PJ Tucker on Rockets Twitter. The thing is, Rockets Twitter doesn't understand that stats, is not everything that it doesn't quantify everything in a game.
Right.
Yeah. So PJ Tucker, he made the winning damn shot, the putback. So PJ Tucker is his IQ is so high, even though he doesn't make the the shots sometimes at the
coaching
corner.
staff definitely does. Otherwise, they wouldn't be giving him the minutes.
Exactly. He played like the whole fourth quarter.
He knows where to be on defense at all times, and you need that.
He's that Draymond Green. I mean,
you need that driver.
That does not show up in the stat sheet. And it really doesn't need to because it helps facilitate the other players to do what they're great at.
Exactly. If PJ Tucker leaves this Rockets team, our team goes to shit because he's actually the leader of defense. He's telling people where to be at. He's taking those charges.
He's seen everything before, and he's able to guide the youngins where they need to go.
Exactly, and you need that. So I mean,
but I'll say, we're talking about how undersized we are. The Pelicans are the exact nightmare scenario right now that we want to face. Steven Adams is 6'11", Brandon Ingram 6'8", Zion Williams is a thick 6'7".
Yeah, exactly. Like they just don't have the maturity.
And then
yet.
Of course they have Lonzo Ball as a tall 6'6" point guard. So we're definitely undersized playing against them, and it's going to be. I think 7 o'clock. It's going to be a great game tonight. I think everybody should be tuning into. If they wanted to check out the Rockets and see how we're doing, this is a good gut check kind of game, especially with them being at full staff right there.
Exactly. So it seems like it'll be a competitive game for sure. I'm waiting to see if Silas puts Boogie and Woods together. If they do, then that definitely is gonna get to the point where we're gonna need a backup center. Because we're not going to be able to compete against the Lakers or Clippers, in a deep run. We're good enough to be at the second round right now. Mm-hmm. If we want to get past that, then we need that backup center.
Right now, it looks like the Rockets are slightly favored to win the game tonight. So,
but it's going to be tough, man. Steven Adams is no punk.
And defensively or even just offensively. We have a weird record right now where games with 110 points or more, we're like 4-5, less than.
You can't even look at stats right now because our lineups changed. James Harden was here with us in the beginning, so it's not even fair. Look at the stats from now and 10 games beyond. Then then stats mean something.
And that's if everybody plays.
Exactly.
And then we're not accounting for the opposition having them being at full force either because everybody's got injuries or COVID happening. So it is what it is.
Do we want to shout out any of our bench players? So Mason Jones is obviously a person that we're waiting for to get that contract so he can play with us every game.
Absolutely.
Sterling Brown, he's been doing his thing.
He has.
Tate, he's been a little quiet as of late, right?
Yeah, but he's getting them rebounds.
No, I think
he's getting those rebounds.
He's in that PJ Tucker kind of zone, making the moves the plays where he needs to make them, and he's helping facilitate that offense.
Mm-hmm.
I think he's an important player. When I saw a quote about Harden talking about Jeff Green being a glue player, I think Jason Tate is a similar kind of glue guy.
I would agree.
So he's been hitting some threes too as well. Yeah. So
anybody else? McLemore's been quiet, right? Because he hasn't got any minutes.
Yeah,
right.
Yeah, I don't think he played.
He's been missing a little bit. I mean, but I think he's a valuable player to a lot of other teams, and then he's kind of a known quantity. So we're not really trying to, I guess, give him the minutes when we can give guys like.
Who would you rather have, Daniel House or McLemore?
I mean,
because they're the same type of player.
McLemore's going to knock down the shot.
He is.
Yeah, Daniel House, you don't
Daniel
know.
House is our long-term project for the Rockets who's probably going to be around. It's kind of like David Nwaba. All of our guys are people that...
Oh, yeah, we forgot about Nwaba.
Yeah.
Nwaba's been impressive. My goodness.
KJ Martin.
KJ Martin's going to get... Well, he's been assigned to the D-League.
Yeah.
Him, Jonathan's Skrechy Scratch's favorite player.
That's my boy.
Broderick Thomas.
Shout out Thomas. What up?
I really don't know what Scratch sees in
I
Thomas.
give him some years, then he's gonna be
So-
nice.
Hell, I ain't trying to wait no years.
Sterling Brown definitely needs some moment to shine, I guess.
Sterling Brown has
Sterling
it.
Brown-
He's had his moments, and
He's got his shot is still there. I know that he hasn't been that knockout player coming in the game like in the beginning part of the season, but
I would
his
love to
averages.
see. So since Mason Jones isn't getting the minutes or the playing time,
Explain that a little bit. Why he's not?
Oh, so he's on a 2-way contract. Apparently, 2-way contracts only get to play 50 games of the 72 regular season games. So Silas has to pick his games wisely. So saying that, Sterling Brown, if he can run the point guard, I think it could work well.
I think he can grow into a good start backup point guard. We may not need that guy and maybe spend our resources on that second big guy to stand alongside Boogie Cousins.
Bro,
But when
no, size always wins. You got to remember that. If we don't put money up, even for a free agent, we just need a 6'10" to 7 foot, type of center who can just do the dirty work.
Yeah.
I don't know if fucking Chuck Hayes is still out there. Bring his ass back.
Bring Chuck Hayes back. Make that a
Well,
campaign.
damn sure it wasn't Bruno Caboclo.
Yeah, it wasn't him. He's a little too young, and I wish him well and that he can develop his
I bring
skills.
up Boogie just to say that looking at the guys that are not our top three, which is Wall, Wood, and Oladipo. You still got Cousins, you got Gordon, Tucker, Danwell House, David Nwaba, Mason Jones, Sterling Brown, and these are players that could be the starters or backup on any NBA team.
No doubt. And
I mean,
shout out to Boogie because
They could be in the top 8 rotation, I believe.
Oh yeah, Boogie Cousins. He had a little weak streak of a few games, but he turned around his last couple games. So shout out Boogie. Keep doing your thing. Be confident, in your game, and you'll do well.
He plays a lot better with John Wall.
Oh yes, he does. Yeah, that's a great point. John Wall knows how to put Boogie in position. So Boogie even shoots his threes better with John Wall.
He does.
So I think that's just a test to their Kentucky Wildcats chemistry and them touching base again in the NBA. So
Are we still getting Dante Exum?
He's hurt, I think.
Yeah, he is hurt.
Yeah.
No chance this year.
Possibly, but I saw some film on him. He's, I believe, another 6'4" to 6'6" type of player.
6'5", 214 pounds. I mean,
he's solid. He's heavier.
Solid, yeah.
He's heavier.
Probably gonna come back heavier being injured this long.
Yeah, exactly. So I don't think he beats out Nwaba or Brown or Tate.
Right.
So he's a good trade piece because he showed the metrics in his past performances with Utah and whatever other team he was at.
One thing's for sure, we're not going to see this team as we currently see it today, even at the end of the season. There's still a lot of moves to be made, but a lot of great pieces that definitely let you know that we're going to give some of the players that play for us currently the opportunity to continue playing in the NBA and still make the Rockets better along the way.
So we're 8-9 right now. We're 17 games in. What do you foresee our next game record being?
Oh man!
Just to wrap up the Rockets segment. Who we got coming up?
Man,
sorry to put you on the spot.
Nah, you're good.
We always like forecasting, so our listeners can understand some point of view.
So we talked about the Pelicans coming up.
So we're gonna call that a win.
I'm calling it a W. Definitely. I think.
Definitely. So we'll be at 599 at that point.
That would be nice.
Yeah.
They did win last night, so
yeah,
that can help.
Yeah, John Skrechy Scratch was talking about, he really wished that they would win that previous game so they won't have the
against the Milwaukee
that
Bucks.
they have to win.
Yeah, exactly.
And it's the second game on a back-to-back. We had the rest period. But after that we play Oklahoma twice. I feel like that has to be 2 wins for us. We played the Grizzlies after that.
Oh, yeah. We'll win against the Grizzlies.
We played the Spurs, which we lost our previous meeting against them.
But we have a full team now.
We have a full team now. Yeah.
So we're talking about...
The Spurs, they've been pretty good.
Yeah.
So that's 5 games, and we're talking about... So including tonight's game, that's 5 games in.
Mm-hmm. So we'll be...
5-0. Are you talking about a 9-game winning streak?
It could happen. It could definitely happen.
Then we got the Charlotte Hornets.
We'll beat the Hornets.
The Pelicans again. I guess... The big day to circle on the calendar
is the Heat.
The Heat on the 11th. So,
well, we're gonna go on a big winning streak. If not, we'll lose one game and then start another one,
barring injuries and COVID.
Exactly. But this is our time to build up our record and puff it up.
Yeah. I think for matchup wise, the games against the Pelicans, the Grizzlies, the Spurs, and the Pelicans again, those are going to be our conference teams that we need to definitely win to make sure that we got to.
We should definitely, like, assuming that we have a starting lineup, we should definitely win the next 6 to 7 games.
Yes, we can.
Wow.
Man.
6 plus 7.
No, let's
I mean,
not jinx it too much.
no,
let's
it's not
not
jinxing
jinx
it,
it,
but
but-
it's forecasting. This is the game that we should win.
Feeling good.
Yeah,
It's
assuming
feeling
we
good.
have.
we have to have good starts as well because we have.
I mean, when you got
That,
three
haven't
that's
had great
that's a great
starts.
point they bring up because Oladipo, you need to start strong, bro.
well, that's what I was just about to mention. 3 guys that can score 20 points a game for you just to start. That's 60 points right there. I mean, I think we're in our bench coming in to score another 40 points at least. We're in a very good situation with our current
That's
team.
right. Since we're playing New Orleans tonight, shout out John fucking Doe.
Oh yeah, let's go.
I want the fucking beat playing before I even pick the headphones up. I'm in this bitch. Nah.
Elbows and jumpers.
I'm a youngin' from the hood. I ain't slacking in the hood. Get the bag what I'm the hood. Leave come back without a hoof. Don't be lying in my rhymes, bitch. I'm with it.
Elbows and jumpers, episode 7. Welcome back. Then it's what we got.
So just going to wrap it up with the Texans a little bit. Obviously, that organization is a dumpster fire right now. We going back to what we talked about where they basically try to recreate the Patriots, but the Patriots were created by Tom Brady. And
Facts.
there's no
Facts.
hope in sight for that organization, it feels like.
For the Texans?
Yeah.
Oh yeah, for sure.
I mean, Nick Casario's in charge. Jack Easterby is still over there.
So I mean, all the big.
I don't see why Deshaun Watson would want to stay with that organization.
And this is the thing about Houston culture. We all support Deshaun and doing
You know,
whatever
we
he
don't.
wants to
We
do.
all don't. I still see
You think
people
she-
talking about how Deshaun is only 24 years old and how who is he to decide what the organization's made
He
up
has
of.
proven himself. Like
has.
all those people who are saying that shit, fuck them, because they don't
Expound
they
on
don't
that,
care.
please. Expound on that because there are people that literally want to call Deshaun I'm gonna create the straw man. I'll be the straw man. Is he a crybaby?
Hell no, he is not James Harden.
Is he pampered? See, that's
No.
but see,
No.
just the
You
fact that
gave
you make that
away.
comparison.
You gave away one of the best wide receivers
Yeah.
in the game.
Exactly.
He's been wronged.
Yeah,
And-
he's been
and
wrong.
You gave him away.
You
Then
gave away
he's still
Clowney
putting-
as
No
well.
decent
He's still
coaching
putting up
situation.
numbers.
Yeah,
No-
he-
After that,
Yeah, and he still put up his numbers, and he still tried to make the team win.
he's making receivers.
Yes,
He's
exactly. He's making these receivers known. Like, I mean,
Mhm.
he's putting in all the effort, all the heart. That's why I support Deshaun. And like wherever you go, bro, like, you know, kill it. Because I'm gonna support you in whatever team you go. And then again, too, for JJ Watt, he's looking to leave as well. Watt, don't waste
Where did you
your
hear
career.
that?
It's about that time for Watt.
yeah.
to leave.
Where did you hear that?
I saw like an ESPN rumor article. It was actually ESPN that confirmed it.
Yeah, he's done too.
Yes. I mean,
It-
I get
it's
what you're
his
saying.
time to
It could-
leave
it
and
could be some rumors
try to
about
get
it.
championship.
It's a room.
But
It's a
just
rumor.
because ESPN is reporting it, don't make it fact. Is what I'll say.
That's
No, I
true.
agree to that, but the point is, if Watt leaves, I'm not mad at you either because you
Oh,
gave
no, absolutely.
you
not.
gave
gave
this
your
team,
all.
yeah, you gave this team your all, and you know it's time for you to go with
What-
Tom Brady.
one thing that I
That
learned.
would be nice, actually.
One thing
I
I
wouldn't
learned
be
a long
mad.
time ago was that how people talk about you when you're not around matters. Like in terms of like, are they talking good or bad? And one thing that I heard about a month ago was Brandon Cooks and how he was talking about how, you know, do we want to give him an extension? Are we going to sign him or are we going to trade him? And he said, I'm saying right now, I prefer to stay in Houston. I think Deshaun Watson was a big part of it, and he knew exactly what Deshaun could do for his career, and that's specifically what he was referring to. And Deshaun has an entire team on his side.
Yeah,
I
The
don't
thing
see-
is the organization, man.
I don't see our organization recovering.
Okay, so you know how you do your socialist sports or whatever corporate structure for the Rockets. So this is my outlining type of ridiculous I don't know idea. if Deshaun Watson can be the head coach and the quarterback at the same time, then that's the only thing that's gonna make it work. Or if you bring a wide receiver like I mentioned before, like in Metcalf or something like that, to help him out. And you still need a good offensive line. Like we suck, bro, like horribly. And then
yeah, we actually do suck.
we're ass. Yes, and
That's
I mean-
the difference between the Texans and the Rockets.
yeah, like if you watch the Texans, it's for nothing. You know, it's. I mean, the only reason we watch him is for Watts, Watson and Watts.
You're talking about what every coaching tree in a lot of our professional sports organizations need to look like. The fact that we don't have Eric Bieniemy coming to the Texans.
That is the dumbest shit. This is the offensive coordinator for the Kansas City Chiefs,
a Super Bowl winning and perennial going.
He knows
franchise.
how to win.
He knows how to win. Exactly. He knows how to use. He knows how to use the versatile quarterback.
Game-changing quarterback.
Exactly.
Yes.
If he knows how to use them as homes, then why wouldn't you do the same thing for Watson?
It is insane that we didn't get him.
So I gotta give a shout out to the Honey Badger because he left when it was supposed to leave.
The perfect time.
Exactly. He won that ship. He said, "Fuck Houston, I'm out."
Since LSU, he's been doing this thing. He's been dictating his own life and and I think he's a far more intelligent player than anybody in his career has ever estimated him to be, just because every move he's made has been in progression and gone forward. From working with John Lucas when he came to Houston, and just constantly building his brand and doing well. But I'll tell you, as an organization, I can't see how we can continue to allow sports teams to wear the Houston name. It needs to be the McNair Texans or something else.
Exactly.
And their branding needs to represent how shitty they are. And if they were traded as a public company, their stock price would be worth shit.
Well, it's gonna show in this next season because Watson definitely doesn't want to stay, and I think he's prepared to sit out.
He took away all the Texan related stuff on his Instagram.
I'm fine with that.
Yeah,
I'm perfectly fine with that because we support you in your growth. You know, and
is this a way to, like, for example, if let's say Washington D.C. since we're talking about crowdsourcing some volatility in places, right?
Shout out GameStop.
So what if a city like Washington, who just said by the way, why isn't it the Washington D.C. football team? It's just called the Washington football team, as if there isn't a whole ass state on the other side. Anyway, the Washington football team, if their fans kind of went in revolt as well and said, "Hey, it's time for you to give up ownership and sell to an outside party and have it held in a trust."
It's because
can you see a revolt from a city's people and saying
money makes the world go round? So if you're not in that top, 5%, really 1%. You can't call shots on that type of shit. You need to worry about your bills day to day.
You're saying the lethargy of the general public won't allow it to happen. That there's not an interest in seeing. And you know what? This is. And with everything that's going on in the world, this is a frivolous ass topic to talk about sports ownership.
We're getting too deep into it, and these are ideals, but
I think
the public is not going to buy a team, bro.
Hell no.
It's not going to happen.
I would be a shareholder in the Houston Texans if they put it on the public market. I would buy as many shares as I can, so that way all this shit that I talk can be backed up with that shareholder vote.
But who's going to be on the board? Probably that same top 1%.
I mean, You're going to have somebody that's going to be qualified. I feel like you're going to see actual talent override that. You're not going to see these people that are on TV talking about football. Like a Deion Sanders, for example.
We just need to sell the team. Well, not we, but the NFL commissioner at some point has got to be like, there's something fishy going on. And Stephen A. Smith, shout out to him. He actually acknowledged, he's like, I'm going to get to the bottom of the Houston Texans.
Man, because they in the bottom of shit with the same league that was shitting on Kaepernick.
But for him to, exactly.
We're going to do an invitation.
Because
we're going to see about it. Man, you ain't going to do that.
You know why Kaepernick didn't get put on, right?
I know why Kaepernick didn't get put on.
Well, I mean, you know why he didn't get it second and third and
of course,
chance,
he's
because
a good quarterback.
No, because he was standing up for civil rights.
Yeah, I know why he didn't. That's obvious.
Yeah, but this is different. Like, it's not like Watson. Watson just doesn't want to be here because the team sucks. It's a whole two different thing, I'm like, so Stephen A. Smith.
It relates back to the whole NFL ownership structure.
It might be another Clippers type of situation. Yeah.
Could be.
And if that's the case, then
good for us.
Good for us.
I mean, it is a little cultish the way that they kind of creepily put in that Nick Caserio was a good culture fit, that Cully is a good culture fit. What does culture mean in an organization that loses for 20 years?
Bro, it's every S&P 500 company. So
we're the new Browns.
Man.
No, I don't think because the Browns have been going on for 30 to 40 years.
Yeah.
So, we're on our first
year. We're 20.
We're Browns Junior.
Nah, we're like
we're a junior poop.
We're like the Chargers right now. We're in limbo.
Well, enough about that. We have the Super Bowl coming up.
Oh yeah. Who you got? Brady or Mahomes?
Man, the anarchist in me says I want Brady to win just because it just shits on the whole New England Patriots organization. But I want Mahomes to win because I feel like and not just one, I think they have the talent and the youth and the new NFL know-how.
There's definitely two sides of it. So I've been watching First Take, and what they're saying is if Mahomes doesn't win, then he will never have a chance to catch up to Brady. And the thing is, it's like Brady's won with 6 ships.
Bro, he knows how to win.
No, that's the thing. That's a big mountain to climb. Like, and like Mahomes,
it's the same one they asked LeBron to climb. I'm not defending it either. I think that's
a good point. I think we're gonna touch back on the next episode when we figure out who wins the Super Bowl, because we'll have more, basis for it.
I'm not going to judge one man versus another man because they're winning in different areas.
It's not that they're both accomplished.
Yes, they are.
Exactly. They both win. The
Give
thing
us
is,
a great game.
I think
we don't need to put people against each other.
Give us a great game.
No, you can put Brady against Belichick though. I'll take that all
day.
Yeah.
I made this team. Not you.
So I'm rooting for Brady. Just so
I'm
he
rooting
can
for Brady because it still shits on every decision that the Texans make about hiring people from the Patriots, like Bill O'Brien. Like
I think that's too far in. That's too far into deep. Where I just want.
It's what exactly happened.
Yeah, but most people don't understand that. They just want to see Belichick lose. So that's the reason I want to see Brady win, just so he shows that he's as cerebral and astute, and even more so than Belichick. Because this is the thing is like these head coaches think that they're the smartest people and that quarterbacks can't think on their own. They can.
I think the media
they know systems.
The media
O'Brien.
Deshaun Watson could definitely run an offense.
Definitely.
That's
the point.
The fact that we're genuinely talking about how the head coach and the offensive coordinator, if you have certain kinds of talent in front of you, your job is to understand when to get out of the fucking way.
Exactly.
Like these players are too smart. There's a whole different level of ball being played.
Hopkins was too smart. And this is the thing. Like,
shout out Hopkins.
Yeah, shout out DeAndre. I mean, like,
and we're using too smart as a euphemism because they're obviously they are the reason why they are successful is precisely because they're smart.
Exactly. And the thing is, like, you don't listen to your manager all the time if they're dumbasses. So I mean, good for Hopkins for not playing that dumbass role.
Exactly.
And now what Watson is doing. So. I mean,
and
let the organization
you can only
crumble.
Not be who you are on an ongoing basis for so long before it breaks you down inside. I know JJ Watt. He's put on that smile in the public face for so long.
He's tired now.
He's tired.
He's
exactly.
done.
He's had his own injuries and saw it from the sideline saying, "Oh, I wish I could be there." Now he's part of it and still doesn't see the end result. It's got to kill you.
So let's close out by saying, where do we want Watson to go, and where do we want Watts to go?
Just for proximity's sake. And
New Orleans?
Yes, New Orleans.
There you go. No, I agree with that. I would, man. New Orleans,
New Orleans is my cousin.
Exactly.
New Orleans would be nice.
Yeah.
For Watson, we could cheer them on.
We could make a trip to the Superdome.
We got any cash money when outro too? But that would be. I mean, it's so close to Houston.
They happen to have an opening. I don't know. It seems right.
The Hot Boys on fire, bro. that would be the anthem, and it would be really
too many
a 2-city type of team. That should be crazy. Because Breeze is on his way out, right?
Yeah, he's already he's retired.
It's confirmed.
Last game, yeah, it's confirmed.
Nice. So I mean, that's pretty much it. Scratch, you don't got to worry about looking for.
So let's follow us on social media. Interact with us. Elbows and the letter N Jumpers on Twitter.
Yeah.
Elbows letter N Jumpers on Twitter. Elbows and AND Jumpers on YouTube, Twitch.
Instagram,
Facebook.
Let us know what you think. Obviously,
give us your feedback. I want y'all to comment. Well, we want y'all to comment.
Rudy thinks that what he thinks is what everybody should think. So please contradict him.
And I'm on the rational side of what Dennis thinks. So everybody can find their fit.
Yes, sir. But great having y'all.
Yeah, great having y'all. Thanks for listening.
Elbows and Jumpers, episode 7.
Episode 8 coming soon.
Yes, sir. Let's go.